Hi everybody, it's me, Teresa Perrin. I just want to do a quick update on HTGM because it was up 68% Friday in after hours, and I really believe that this should be on everybody's watch list for Tuesday morning because it looks like it created a bull flag, which it should break out of, and I think you're going to see some significant moves to the upside. Let's get started. Please remember, nothing I say is financial advice, and always do your own DD. All right, so let's start out with the press release that came out saying HTG Molecular Diagnosis announces closing of a 10 million public offering. All right, guys, I haven't been paying that much attention to this because I had a feeling once I saw it dumped back down after the run that it had, that it was going to head towards that low, unfortunately, of $2 and something cents, unless significant news came out. Well, here's the news. And it says HTG Molecular Diagnosis announces closing of a 10 million public offering. And guys, basically what it included was an offering of 1,290,322 shares of common stock or pre-funded warrants in lieu thereof. Series A-1 warrants to purchase up to 1,290,322 shares of a common stock and Series A-2 warrants to purchase 1,290,322 warrants of a common stock at a combined public offering price of $7.75 per share, which, guys, is higher than we're trading at right now. And accompanying warrants. The Series A1 warrants have an exercise price of $7.50 per share and are immediately exercisable and expire 5 years from the date of issuance. The Series A2 warrants have an exercise price of $7.50 per share and are immediately exercisable. They will expire 24 months from the date of issuance. Now, guys, basically, obviously, they're going to want to get the stock price to $7.50 or $7.75 in order to be able to exercise these, right? So ultimately, yes, this increases the float. However, if you add up all of these warrants combined, the float is still under 5 million shares. This is still a micro float and very easy for them to manipulate higher or lower. You better believe that they are going to get this price over $7.50 and presumably much higher so that they can make a profit on those warrants. I do believe you're going to see a good run in this, which is why I'm bringing it to your attention. And obviously, after hours proved that. So guys, apparently they announced this, and I'm sorry, but I have been very busy with holidays on December 21st, which is why you saw that sell-off. Personally, I just thought it was selling off because they were trying to make a double bottom before it really rocketed again. Because, you know, when a reverse stock split happens, a lot of times they sell it off further. Now, interestingly enough, they got a lot of retail sellers, it looks like, on Friday to sell out at these falling prices. The net outflow was far greater than the net inflow. But look at, even the larger institutional selling looks like they were selling off, which I find very interesting because look at the extra large orders that were selling. Kind of crazy if you ask me. Especially when you saw that it was getting close to its 52-week low, and I just don't understand why at that point they wouldn't average down, but that's my opinion. Anyways, as you can see, it had a run up earlier in July, and then the equivalent would have been $24.96, and it came crashing down all the way to the equivalent of $2.38. We got a run up the day prior to the reverse merger, or the reverse split, which was announced suddenly. This was not anticipated. And then it massively sold off. And then it ran up again, but didn't quite get as high as that previous day before's, right? And then it tanked again. And guys, it started running in the after hours, as I said. And it hit it closed at $3.10, but it went higher than $5.25. It was 6 something when I saw it, actually. Maybe around 6. I think it went slightly over that, though. But it closed at $5.25, which was a 69.35% increase. Crazy. Guys, it's going to go in my opinion, at least to that 750, but I expect a lot further, because why exercise warrants at 750 and not get a profit on them? That would make no sense. And I actually believe it can go significantly higher based on the low float that it is. Now, the average volume has been 476,000 shares per day. Prior to those issuance of warrants and shares, there was only 733.44 thousand shares in this free float. How did they tank it so easily, guys? I have no idea, other than the fact that somebody always knows something. So obviously they knew about this deal. And to be honest with you, I think a lot of times what's going on is that these big money institutions are driving down these, potentially startup, not really profitable yet companies that have small floats or sometimes even larger floats, but that they're easily able to manipulate because they have a lot of money to do it, guys. They scare out their investors, they tank the price, then they make a deal with them to buy shares. They force them into a reverse split, make a deal with them to buy shares at significantly reduced prices, where they get shares, warrants, you name it. You see what they do with these deals. And then suddenly the price starts going back up. And then they rinse and repeat and do it all over again. It is horrible, horrible, horrible. And it makes me really sick. If I were a private company, I would never, ever want to go public because of the stuff that goes on. I mean, this is wrong. You're trying to start a business. They do this to like a lot of cancer companies, a lot of biotech companies that are trying to develop cures for diseases. And this is how they treat them. It's really disgusting. But you have to start to see this pattern, and you have to know how to play this game if you want to make money in the stock market. So guys, right now with the issuance of these warrants, like I said, you better believe that we are going to see a move to the upside, because they want to exercise them. They want their money. And I promise you that with those 120 million shares or whatever it was that traded the other day when this was rocketing, with a float of only 733,000 shares, how on earth are they going to fill all those? They're going to have to buy up shares, right? I don't know, guys. It's like this tangled web that they weave that just keeps getting worse and worse for them. But then they do this corruption to get you to sell your shares off cheap. And it works for them every time, or they wouldn't be doing it. You know what's going to change it? When people stop selling and they say, I don't care what you bring it to because I'm holding this long term and I'm just going to keep buying more and more and more. But unfortunately, that's not the mentality that most investors have. And unless it's done as a whole, it's not going to change, because they're just going to try to scare you out. Psychology is a huge part of the stock market, guys. You have to realize this. Now, HTGM right now on Webull is number 17 in the popularity list. It is taking huge moves up. Earlier when it was running, it was number 50 something. Now we're at 17. So a lot of eyes are on this stock. Two analysts that rank it give it a buy. And the price target low is $12 and high is $24. So the average would be 18. As you can see, trading at $5.25, there is a huge move to the upside. Even at the low, you can more than double your money. Now, short term, it shows a bullish signal. We have been in a downtrend for quite some time now, other than those little run-ups the last few days. So it's still showing that we are in a downtrend for the medium and long term. But guys, if this starts moving to the upside, you better believe that this will trade, and we want to see this bullish signal continue to get stronger in the coming days. Now, the breakdown of shareholders are 15% corporate, 4.29% institution, 5.41% insiders, and 75.23% others, which would be us. But guys, this is prior to those warrants. I think you're going to see, because obviously whoever bought those is likely a big fish institutional investor. So you should see those shares and warrants make the institutional ownership go much higher once they update this. Now, I don't believe this for 1 second. It says the short interest is 0.32% of the float. That's physically impossible, because we all know what's happened this past week, and I'm telling you, there is no way it's that low. Currently, there are 0 shares available to borrow, which is good for us because that means they can't borrow shares to tank us down. And look at the cost to borrow, 545.53%, guys. This is insane. This is huge. This tells you something right here. And right now, 11:30 was the last day that's reported in this current information, so failure to delivers do not come into play. However, I would expect to see some very high failure to delivers when we get the next 2 weeks data, just based on what happened prior to that reverse split. Anyways, guys, I just wanted to bring this to you before I go away for the weekend. I wish you guys a bunch of luck on Tuesday. If you decide to trade this, I think you're going to see some huge moves in it. Thank you so much for watching. Happy holidays.